Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We are here for round 3 of the Stock Car Championship at Watkins Glen Short. So, something other than an oval in this championship. Exciting stuff. We've seen them going around in circles so far in this championship, and coming into round 3, stuff's got real. So, the Stock Car Championship is our take on NASCAR and oval racing. Drivers will battle on various oval circuits across the world in a knife-edge, high-speed game of chess. Now, there's going to be 8 rounds this championship, and a round is a one-lap qualifier, which we don't see, but when we look at the grid, we'll see who did best on their one lap of qualifying. Then we'll have a 15-minute sprint race with the fastest first, rolling start, and then we'll move on to a feature race, which is 30 minutes of the and it's the previous results. Rolling start is the order on the grid. They'll all be using the Nissan Silvia Spec R Aero S15 touring car, a Group 4 car, and it's a fun little championship, I must say. Let's have a quick look to see. I think the table is as it should be. It's not been updated yet. That's good. So after Blue Moon Bay, we have a championship, well, after 2 rounds. Homesick Alien is sitting at the top of the table on 57 points, with Skyjacker in second with 54 points. Talleyrand is third with 53 points. Ensenua is fourth with 51 points. So, man alive, it's very tight. Pat is fifth on 47 points, with Digital Blasphemy in sixth on 45 points. Koi Carp is seventh on 43 points. Bazza is eighth on 30 points. Jokus ninth on 24 points. And Thingamajig 10th on 18 points. And the wins have been dished out. Talleyrand won the first race at Daytona, the sprint race, and Digital Blasphemy won the feature race, and then at last round, Skyjacker won both races. And I believe he got pole as well, so absolutely cracking stuff. But going around an oval is one thing, going around an actual race course is another. And can these boys cut it around Watkins Glen? What a glorious track it is. Let's have a look at that grid then, shall we? I'm going to do this by car recognition, so I might get some positions wrong. So they did one shot at qualifying to judge where they start on the grid, and looking around, we have the championship leader on pole, Homesick Alien, in his, hang on, let me go high. So Homesick Alien in his Tide Nissan car 77. Then in second place, we have Talleyrand in the Gulf Racing Team car 20. In third on the grid, we have a Digital Blast for me, looking splendid as always. What was that? Third. Fourth is Big Dan. So Big Dan getting 4th spot in the one-shot qualifying. In 5th place, it's Pat. Car number 4, the Monster Energy team, bagging 4th place on the grid. Great stuff for them. 5th is Jokus in the other Monster vehicle. What was he? Sorry, I've lost count already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th. 7th on the grid then is Skyjacker in the pink Monster. And that's 7th on the grid for car 99. I do like his 99 on the top. 8th, I believe, we're looking for now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 8th on the grid is Big Baz, the Bazman, Bazza. And he's doing it for Dale, it says on his car. I think there isn't anyone in the world that does business hasn't put a bit of sponsorship on his car yet. There does look like there's still some space there. If there's anyone out there want to slap a sticker on that, I'm sure he'll be happy to oblige. Look, all this chatting, I forget. I think he was 8th. So we're going to say 9th for Koikarp in the Red Bull Nissan. And that leaves only one spot left on the grid. 10th place for Thingamajig in the Alpha Taurus. So the 2 Red Bulls at the back of the Monstercade. And without further ado, let's get on with that 15-minute race. Homesick Alien leading them away from a rolling start. Let's go. Hey ho. And I don't think they're at the line yet. And there's the counter. And it's a tense time here at Watkins Glen, and it's go, go, go. And Homesick Alien leads them away with Talleyrand in 2nd, Digital Blasphemy in 3rd, Big Dan 4th. We've got Pat in 5th, Jokers in 6th. Jokers flying in there absolutely from nowhere. Grabs Big Dan, Pat by surprise, and great move from Jokers there. Unbelievable speed he carried into turn 1. Skyjacker in 7th, he's on Pat's tail. So Pat should watch out. Bazza in 8th, Koikarp 9th, and Thingamajig in 10th, trailing behind. So far, though, Homesick Alien leads the way from Talleyrand, but Talleyrand is on his case. He's looking for a way by, as you see them turn the opposite way as they have done all season. I think it's all left turns so far this season. They've only done in this car, and for the first time, turning right. Must feel good. So Talleyrand chasing down the championship leader. This one is really for the championship, with Talleyrand being in the shout of it all. 3rd in the championship, 53 points. Skyjacker 54 ahead of him, and then Homesick Alien leading on 57 points. So Talleyrand, he does want to keep an eye on the Alien. Digital Blasphemy in 3rd, Big Dan 4th. There's movement, I'm sure. Jokers ahead of Pat, that's as it was. So no, there has been no movement. Oh, maybe there has been shuffling around. There's 4 cars in a pack down here, all battling. And it's Big Dan ahead of Skyjacker with Jokers, Pat, and now the Baz behind them. They've all gone very wide in the first. Well, 3 of them went very wide in the first corner, and Skyjacker rises to the top into 4th place with Jokers and Big Dan side by side going up and over the hill. And who's going to claim it? It's Jokers claims it from Big Dan, and Big Dan trying to stay ahead of the Baz, Pat, and there's another contender joining them down there. It's Koikarp. Look at the battling we've got mid-pack. Unbelievable stuff. Skyjacker leader. Oh, Big Dan's gone wide. Big Dan, where is he? He's still on track. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Oh, my word. Big Dan. Oh, I think that was a lag glitch that caught Big Dan there with the... Who was that? Baz, who's... he was up there just a second ago, but I think a lag glitch has bumped him back. And he's just knocked Big Dan into the shadow realm. So Big Dan shouldn't be too difficult for him to catch up Thingamajig at this point. And is Big Dan slowing down? Doesn't look like it. Koikarp's got past Big Dan though. And Bazza coming back at Koi, but he's gone pretty wide. Talleyrand's in the lead. I apologise. Let us just knock that back a little bit. Oh my, a lot. Jeez, I must have been virtually on him. When it looks like Homesick went wide there, and that has given Talleyrand a great opportunity to close that gap up to the lead. And this is Talleyrand hunting for the lead of the race. They're side by side going around the long right-hander, and Talleyrand claims it underneath Homesick Alien, and now it's Talleyrand who leads this race from Homesick Alien. Digital Blasphemy looking good for a podium position, but these two have not done yet. They are going to battle it out a little bit longer, and Digi will love that. He will say, go on boys, battle that bad boy out and slow yourselves down. Give me half an opportunity and I will take it. I haven't looked at any of the fuel in this situation, but that's because my controllers are in front of the TV and I can't see it. Fuel's looking all right. I think in the brief it said this one's not so much about the fuel, it's about the tyres. So sitting with Digital Blasphemy in that obnoxious camera angle, Following him around in third spot, Skyjacker in fourth. He's pulled away from Jokers now. Jokers sitting nicely in fifth. He's pulled away from Pat. Looks like the pack has started spanning out a little bit. There's Bazza behind Coy, giving it large. And Thingamajig seems to have caught them up a little bit. What was that? 19 from Baz and a 17 from Coy. Thingamajig with a 15.8, and it looks like he wants to join the party up ahead of him. Big Dan, he's a little bit a ways, isn't he? He's a little bit a ways, but I have faith in Big Dan that he can close back in on the pack. Talaran leads then from Homesick Alien. Digital Blasphemy in third. We are 3 minutes into this 15-minute race. Plenty of racing to go, with Skyjacker just ahead of Jokus. Jokus determined is the Polish driver to try and claim that fourth place. Skyjacker's got a championship to think about now. With those 2 wins last week has put him well and truly into the mix. Pat, meanwhile, in sixth ahead of the Baz, Coy, and then we have a Thingamajig now into the action. It's not something we'll often see, so let's malinger a little bit. And he is looking for scalps. Already ahead of Big Dan in the race. 16.2 from Thingamajig last time around. 16.8. Oh, Coy's off wide there. And the Baz doing a fine job there. 15.5 from Baz last time around. Pat, 15.6. He'll be caught by Baz by the end if he doesn't raise the game. Pat doing a 14, Joker's doing a 14.1 that last time around, and still that's not the fastest lap of the race. Skyjacker, having a little moment in the corner. 14.4, staying ahead of Jokers there in fourth place. It looks to be like he's catching Digital up. Digital maybe under pressure before the end of this race. Digital Blasphemy, did a 15.1 last time around, with Skyjacker doing a 14.4. That's a 0.7 of a second gain from Skyjacker, and Digital Blasphemy will have to beware of the pink monster that is hunting him down. Homesick Alien still chasing Talaran, but it looks like Talaran's just got the edge there. 13.9 and a 13.7 respectively, with Homesick Alien doing 14s zeros still, and Homesick Alien struggling to get it up into the 13s. But is that fuel play? Is that tyre play? We cannot tell. We're only 5 minutes into the race, 1/3 of the way through this 15-minute race. Plenty of racing to go, with Digital Blasphemy in third, being caught by Skyjacker, but it looks like Digital Blasphemy, oh no, they matched each other's lap times last time around, so stalemate from Digital Blasphemy and Skyjacker. Jokers, though, is the man who's creeping closer and closer to that battle. Pat then in sixth place, keeping the Baz at bay, but the Baz 15.2 and Pat doing a 15.2 as well, both of them evening out each other's lap times. Koikarp 15.9 his last route around, and Thingamajig still on his tail with that 15.6. So tight stuff all throughout the pack. Big Dan doing a 16.1. Doesn't look like Big Dan's able to get back into the race on this one. Out wide there, with Thingamajig now all up in Koikarp's business. What is going to happen here? And they're both well onto the apex, chasing each other down. Koikarp leaves a bit of track there, wanting, and he's sliding out wide, but he got through that corner a lot faster than Thingamajig. And it's a real battle down at the back of the pack, but it looks like Koikarp is pulling away from Thingamajig with 16.5 last time around. Thingamajig a 16.9, yes, losing 0.4 on Koikarp. Up in the lead then, Talaran sets another fastest lap with a 13.5, and Homesick Alien still in the 14s, but it could be fuel related. Oh, and Talaran's had a huge off, humongous off there. He saved the car though, he's still on the track, his tyres will be dirty, they're slightly worn, they will not want to grip in that corner wide again as Homesick Alien closes in, and Homesick Alien might fancy this after all. Digital Blasphemy still maintaining that space from Skyjacker behind these pair, and behind them it's absolutely crazy. I know Pat's pulled away from the Baz, so the closest battle is the leaders, Talaran and Homesick, and Koikarp and Thingamajig. And it does look like Big Dan is catching them. 15.7 last time from Big Dan. Thingamajig down to 16.9. We saw that. It was a rough lap from the pair of these. Baz managing to pull away from him now, chasing down Pat. Fancying that, but it looks like Pat's just picked up a bit of damage. And that will make Bazza very buoyant indeed. Then we have, I say we're the only battle, but look at Jokus closing in on Skyjacker. Is this tyre related? Does not look like it. We are over halfway in the race. The fuel tanks look fine. No fear from fuelage in this race, but tyre wear is a bit of a concern there, especially for Jokus. It's looking very raw on his front left tyre. Skyjacker, not as bad, but still got wear. And there is Jokus right on his tail. He fancies this. He absolutely fancies this. The Polish driver looking for an in to try and get the move done on Skyjacker and get up into fourth place. Loads of point for Jokus, who's languishing. Oh, and there's the back end of Skyjacker's car stepping out slightly, letting Jokus close back up. Homesick Alien's back in the lead. My word, I am not tracking the race at all well, and I bet he did that ages ago. Look at that, a fair while ago. So we saw Talleyrand making a mistake earlier, and the Homesick Alien's been closing that gap up on Talleyrand, and this is where he pulls the trigger up along the straight, going up the hill, breaking into the tight chicane, and what a move from Homesick Alien. They leant on each other equally, and Homesick Alien comes out ahead of Talleyrand. And will that be the turning point in this championship? Digital Blasphemy looking good for a podium, and that will be healthy for his championship points. Side by side by Skyjacker and Jokus through that corner. Beautiful stuff, but Skyjacker still ahead, and the Monster boys are giving us an absolute treat right now. Look at this, great racing from the two Monster sponsored cars. Coming up to 9 minutes, only 6 more minutes left of racing, and you can't tell anything apart from Skyjacker. And here comes Jokus trying to late break it into the first corner. A little side knock on Skyjacker, but Skyjacker cares less of it, and he stays ahead of Jokus. Unbelievable racing. Pat out wide there, and that is going to give Bazza a great opportunity to close that gap and really give Pat a lot to think about. Pat's tyre wear could be getting out of hand at this point. Meanwhile, Thingamajig is ahead of Koikap. I won't rewind it. It probably happened a while ago. 16.2, 16.8. Do you know what? Screw it. I will rewind it. You don't get to see Thingamajig overtake that often. So Thingamajig there, and it looks to me like Koikap is struggling with the tyres for sure. And Thingamajig looking to the outside, jinking back to the inside. No, getting a bit of a toe. Leading down to turn 1. Is he going to try and do the move there? Stays on the apex. Oh, and a big wobble from Koikap as he goes over the curbs. And I believe that is tyre related. Look at Thingamajig's tyres next to Koi's. He really has nursed those tyres well. Big Dan closing the gap. And meanwhile, Homesick Alien leads from Talleyrand. That's the big news from race 1 in round 3. Watkins Glen. Digital Blasphemy, solid drive for third, never harassed, never bothered about the position, kept his head when others lost theirs around him. Skyjacker keeping Jokus at bay, but this is a battle out of tyre wear, surely, with still 5 minutes left on the clock, and these tyres look virtually spent by these two drivers. Pat, struggling now with Bazza right on him. Alongside the Belgian Bullet, we are looking to get the move done up into 6th place, and the Baz is just ahead of Jokus by 6 points. So Jokus up there in I don't know what that went off there. I don't know again if that was a lag spike. I think it may have been. because Baz hasn't got damage on the front, and he would have damage, but Pat's probably got damage. No, Pat hasn't got damage on the back. But there goes the move. Baz on his way past. And Pat slips in behind to get a toe. Thingamajig still ahead of Koikart. The tyres still looking quite tidy. He's doing 16s though, where the other guys around him in the 15s easily with the worn tyres. So Thingamajig has to raise his game. He can do 15s. And Koikart keeping track of him. But down in the 18th, that last lap, struggling with tyre wear. And Big Dan closing in on Koikart. With Homesick Alien leading the way from Talleyrand. We have got 4 minutes left of racing here at Watkins Glen. What's that, 3 laps? Possibly. And Digital Blasphemy. He seems to be getting closer, you know. His tyre wear is a lot better. A 14.6 from Talleyrand, that last lap around. 14.6 also from Digital Blasphemy, matching Talleyrand. But these three have pulled away for sure, and this battle continues on between Jokers and Skyjacker. And what a beautiful battle of the monster liveried cars we are witnessing here. It is absolutely crack-a-lacking. Fantastic racing from Jokers, and Jokers at it again, going for the outside brave move there, and Skyjacker, the king of defence, stays ahead. Brilliant driving from the pair of these, and Joker soon, his tyres are going to fall off the cliff edge. They are pretty much torn up. That front left one is done. The Baz got the move done on Pat, we saw it, and now Pat can only trail in the Baz's wake and try and catch him up. Thingamajig, he's doing okay, but since he's not following anyone, he seems to have dropped off the pace a bit. 16.3 from him and Koikart and Big Dan. Big Dan has caught up Koikart, but Big Dan's tyres are absolutely trounced. Is there anything he can do against Koikart? Who knows? Koikart wiggling around there with that tyre wear issue, but Big Dan as well has gone full red on those tyres, and maybe Big Dan just doesn't have the purchase with the track to get the job done on Koi, who still has a sliver of white left on that front left. And again, there you see Big Dan out wide with no grip. Thingamajig, a 16.6 that last time round. He's getting slower and slower with Baz and Pat back in the action. 16.2 from Pat against the Baz, who did a 16.5, and it's Pat gone up and back into 6th place, and Pat is absolutely flying in this championship. 5th place in the championship, 6th place on track. Joker's doing a fine job attacking Skyjacker, and Skyjacker only just able to stay ahead of the Polish driver. Digital Blasphemy, his tyres are absolutely perfect, and he is hunting himself a Talleyrand, whose tyres are starting to look woeful. And we are now into virtually the last minute of racing as Talleyrand struggles to stay on track. No, that was Homesick Alien we saw go very wide, whose tyres are also obliterated. Unbelievable stuff. So Homesick Alien out there in the lead from Talleyrand, who is faster that last time around than Homesick Alien. Talleyrand could still come back out this race. Digital Blasphemy in 3rd, looking for more even. Skyjacker keeping Jokers at bay, as he has done for most of this race, but both of their tyres are absolutely shot to sunder, and there is no way they can get lap times. And Jokers getting very risky, moving his car around with no tyres whatsoever. He could easily wipe out if he doesn't watch himself, and Skyjacker just doing enough to stay ahead. Meanwhile, Homesick still a good gap from Talleyrand, but Talleyrand is definitely closing in on him. Other than that, we've got Pat ahead of the Baz, and they've got a healthy gap, I think. Baz's tyres totally dead, Pat's totally dead tyres. Thingamajig, his tyres are getting there now. He did a 17.3, just getting slower and slower each lap. Is Thingamajig. Oh, no! I didn't know we were that close. Sorry. So Homesick Alien, I was going to come back for it all. I didn't realise the time was going to run out. Look, they're right there with 10 seconds to go. That is shocking. I thought they were going to get across the line before the flag came out. I honestly did. Thought these guys were going to have to do another lap. So it looks like Homesick Alien takes the win ahead of Talleyrand, but we already saw that. With Digital rounding out the top three, Take a Boo, My Son, Skyjacker maintains that fourth place ahead of Jokers, but Jokers, my word, like a pit bull he was. Always at Skyjacker, fourth and fifth for Jokers. Great drive, you two. Pat grabs a great sixth spot for him ahead of the Baz. What a great race them two had. And Thingamajig brings it home in eighth. And Coy, oh, these two are really close. Bugger now. There you go. Where's Big Dan? Why is it not counting? Wow, Big Dan won. Look at him. That's a hiccup. So Big Dan takes the win. He doesn't. I don't understand why it's done that, and I don't want to go forward anymore. His Homesick Alien takes the win. Great drive from him and Talleyrand. And Talleyrand in second spot. And I can't look at them like that. No, you get that camera view and that camera view only. Digital Blasphemy rounds out the top three. I can't do that thing where you change with the wiggle stick. I'll have to look about it. Skyjacker grabs fourth. Oh, he's even worse. With Jokers in sixth. Pat comes home in seventh with the Baz in eighth. Thingamajig grabs ninth in the end. No, not ninth, sorry, they're all wrong. Let me go back. Third for Digi, fourth for Skyjacker. Joker's got fifth. Sixth for Pat, seventh for Baz, eighth for Thingamajig, and ninth for Koi Carp, and 10th for Big Dan. There you go, it sorted itself out. It was just because I paused it on the wheel. On the line, obviously. So yeah, Homesick won. Did all that for nothing. All right, let's let it wear off. So now we're getting ready for a feature race. 30 minutes of racing. High octane stuff. Beautiful. There you can see the finishing results. Homesick, Talleyrand. Let's go. Where am I? Oh, my items. Replays. Oh yeah, I've got to circumnavigate a load of dailies now. Sorry. There we go. This is the one. So they start with their finishing positions of that last race, a rolling start. So that will be Homesick Alien, I believe, on pole. Hang on. No. Yeah. No, it's reverse, is it? Give me a second. These bloody things. Why it can't just have preferred settings and just stays like that. Oh no, it's a reverse grid, sorry. I think I read it wrong. So Big Dan starting on pole with Koi Carp in second. Thingamajig starts third. The Baz starts in fourth with Pat in fifth. Joker's in sixth. Skyjacker seventh. Then we've got Digital Blasphemy in eighth. Talleyrand in ninth. And Homesick Alien starting in 10th. From winning that first race, I can't promise we're going to see a lot. So here we go. Big Dan leads them away here at Watkins Glen for the feature race. 30 minutes of high octane racing through the night. And let's look at Big Dan start. And Koi Carp then in second. And then we've got Thingamajig in third. But Big Dan pulls away. Lovely he does. They've got to use the racing hards at least once in this race, and I think everyone pretty much started on the racing hards. We'll have a check it out. Big Dan's on the hards with Koi Carp on the racing hards also. Bazza already up a position on Thingamajig, and they are both on the hard tyre. Then we've got Pat on the racing hards as well in fifth place. Skyjacker on the racing hards in sixth, with Jokers on the racing hards in seventh. He's going at him again, them two. Digital Blasphemy started on the hards, Talleyrand started on the hards, and Homesick started on the hards. So it's Big Dan leading, Koi Carp, then Baz, Thingamajig under threat from Pat. Pat's through. Pat up and through, and Thingamajig very slow on the corner there, and he's held up the guys behind him. Digi, Jokers, Talleyrand and Homesick Alien, they all want to get by. And maybe there was redressing from Pat and Thingamajig. Maybe Thingamajig pushed Pat wide. We saw Pat off the road a little bit. So maybe a Thingamajig trying to redress and not in the right place to redress. And now I think Thingamajig's got totally out of it to let Pat through. And Pat's still not come through. So maybe a bit of confusion between Pat and Thingamajig there. I'm not sure. But Koi Carp then leads this race. So Koi Carp somewhere has got past Big Dan. I apologise. Looking at all the commotion behind. So, Big Dan went wide. We saw Big Dan just coming back onto the track. And Koi Carp then gets up the inside of him. And Koi Carp up and in to the lead from Big Dan. And Big Dan's got to watch it because the Barry the Oval Twins is right there, ready to pounce. He's getting a little toe from Koi. Big Dan's on the inside, managing well. Baz is on the outside, very wide, but he's back on track now behind Big Dan. Then we've got Digital Blasphemy in fourth, just ahead of Jokus, who we saw fighting Skyjacker. So he seemed to have left a Skyjacker behind. Homesick Alien in sixth spot with Talleyrand in seventh. Then Thingamajig we saw, I think he was trying to redress or something was going on. He's down in eighth with Pat in ninth. And Skyjacker, I don't know what happened to Skyjacker, but he's way down in 10th spot and a little bit off the crowd. But it's Koi Carp that's leading this race right now. I've got to grab my hot beverage, man. This is thirsty work. Watching these headlights. Oh, down in one. Did it in one, man. That was a thirsty boy. Whew. So Koi is leading the race from Big Dan, and what a turnaround from Koi from one race to another. It looked like he was struggling in the feature race. I mean, in the sprint race, but in the feature race, he's absolutely flying. He's pulled a gap out from Big Dan, and the Bazza there in third. Then looking back, we've got Jokus. Jokus trying to close down. He is faster. He did a 16.4 that last time around. And the Baz doing a 17.8. So Jokus could close up on Bazza if they keep this pace up. Talleyrand ahead of Homesick Alien. That is a very vital in their championship battles. As Talleyrand lost points to Homesick in the last round. Homesick, off really wide. Huge one for Homesick Alien. We don't often see it. And he had to get out of something and decided to take to the muddy banks of Watkins Glen. And lost a humongous time on Talleyrand. And Talleyrand will be loving that as he closes in on Jokus ahead of him. And Homesick Alien now at risk from Digital Blasphemy as he closes in. Pat a little wide going through there in eighth, finally ahead of Thingamajig. They finally sorted it out. And Skyjacker closing in a 16.5 last time around for Skyjacker. Thingamajig a 19.8, Pat a 16.4. So yes, and Digital Blasphemy looking up the inside of the Alien. He fancies it. He's hungry like the wolf, and he wants a piece of the Homesick Alien pie, but it's not there to be had. Homesick Alien back in stride again, and Digital Blasphemy is going to have to find another way to get by. Pat there is in 8th place ahead of Thingamajig. Thingamajig is 16.8 last time around, so he does have some pace. 16.4 from Pat and 16.4 from Skyjacker. So Thingamajig, I'm only interested because it was my first ever race in VR and I didn't know what sort of pace I had next to those around me. And I'm Thingamajig, if you hadn't guessed. So Koi Carp is leading this race quite nicely, handsomely, they would say. A 16.4 last time around from him, and Big Dan a 16.4, and Koi Carp a 16.1. So the pace is very fast up at the front. Someone having a detour there. Jokus going the wide way, and it probably costing him time. Talleyrand trying to close that gap on the Polish driver ahead of him with Homesick Alien back on stride, I said, and fastest lap to boot. 15.664. Everybody watch out, the aliens just woke up. Digital Blasphemy, he was closing in on the Alien, has just seen him walk factor 9 away from him. And Pat there in 8, still being chased by Thingamajig. Thingamajig 18-1. Oh, and it looks like Pat's made a small mistake there. And Thingamajig gains a position on Pat, but I think that was more Pat. Oh, yeah, he done a knock with the barrier. He's got a nasty flasher on his car down on the bottom dashboard. And so Homesick Thingamajig, is up a position with Pat now in 9th and Skyjacker closing in very, very rapidly. Koikarp leads this race, doing a super job ahead of Big Dan and the Bazza there in 3rd. And they're the motley crew that all sit in a chat together. Conspiracies? I think so. With Skyjacker, the puppeteer, I like to think of him as, sitting there up Pat's Jaxie in 10th place. And Pat just clinging on for all his dear might. Thingamajig at the moment back in the 16s, but not high 16s. Still a bad pace. Not a great pace from Thingamajig. Digital Blasphemy 17.6 last time around. Must have lost a bit of time on his last lap. Homesick Alien 15.6 chasing down Talleyrand, who did a 16.0. So Homesick Alien will definitely be back up with the boss pretty soon. And Jokus is feeling the pressure now. He can feel that orange blue Gulf liveried Nissan bearing down on him from behind. The Baz, oh, Big Dan, is he closer? He is. He's closer to Koi, and it's race on between the two leaders. Koikarp, they did exactly the same lap times. There's barely anything in it between these two out there in the lead, and it's Koikarp ahead of Big Dan with the Baz. Oh, I don't know what button it is. No, it's not that button. Sorry. And the Baz are behind us. There you see him. Beautiful stuff. Very close for the three leaders. And it looks like Big Dan dropping away from Koi and giving the Baz an opportunity here. The UPS driver, not literally for UPS, but the UPS liveried Nissan driver, the Baz, is hunting down Big Dan. Jokus, they're still holding on to that 4th. He hasn't been deterred by Talleyrand, and now Talleyrand has got his hands full with a very fast Homesick Alien, 15.592 last time out, and Talleyrand with a 15.9. Oh well, they're very close. There's literally nothing in it between the two of them. Homesick Alien then 6th. Digital Blasphemy 7th place. We're nearly 9 minutes into this 30-minute feature race. No one's pitted yet to get rid of those racing hard tyres. And we did see that the softs wore out definitely over 15 minutes. I mean, within 15 minutes. Get it out. Get it out my mouth. Get it over my teeth. And so I imagine these guys will be wanting to really leave it till the last 10 minutes before they come in and change those hard tyres. Lovely slide from Pat there through turn 1, and he's ahead of Skyjacker. Thingamajig's gone to the back, and with a 28.1 on lap 6. Spinner, we can only guess. So Koikarp out there in the lead, and look, oh, Koi's taking a detour. He's gone to mow some lawn, and Big Baz has got past Big Dan somewhere. When? Jeez, look at us. There's racing full octane up the front there. So the Barry right there on Big Dan. Got a great drive out of that corner, up the inside of Big Dan, over the line, and he claims 2nd place. But it's not done yet. Big Dan's still there, hounding him around the outside, but no, job done now into turn 1. And it's Koikarp then that leads from Barry Twins, and then Big Dan in 3rd place. Jokus just there as well. Jokus has got the fastest lap, and he's closing in on the top 4. This is going to be an exciting finish. We're only coming up to 1/3 of the race, and Koikarp leads, and we know what happens to Koikarp in a minute because we've gone backwards. Baz is having to fight for that 2nd place. This is where Coy, well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. He just clipped it a little bit, but that has put Bazza all up and in his business. And the Barry twins not messing around, and it's Barry twins, Barry the Oval twins, out there in the lead right now. Koi Carp having to defend from Big Dan through though, and that cost Big Koi Carp dearly, going through that corner that way, and Joker's there as well to compound the misery on Koi, and he looked like he wanted to go to the inside. Gave Koi a little contact there, but Koi maintained that third with Jokers now in fourth. And look who else has closed up. Talleyrand and Homesick Alien. It's now a six-way battle for the lead of this race. Although Barry's... Whoa! And Talleyrand is way off the track. And I don't know, and he's gone. So we'll get in Homesick Alien and see if there's anything we can see what happened there. Coming down to the first corner. Ooh, maybe Joker's eased him to the side a little bit. I don't know. There may have been enough room there. But Talleyrand absolutely incensed by that and out of the race. He might not be incensed. I'm making that up. He's out, though. He could have come and raced me at the back here. Thingy-majig. He's all alone. Miles away from the rest of the pack. Skyjacker then in ninth. Giving Pat what for? Between 9th and 8th place. Oh, Talleyrand is in it. Sorry, I thought he'd quit. I do apologise. It just looked like his name disappeared. So Talleyrand then in 7th carries on. Ooh, misses out on the corner though. And slidey. And that gives Digital Blasphemy the... Oh no, gives Pat the position. Sorry. And Talleyrand, no, something's gone totally wrong there, hasn't it? Software issues, possibly. There we go. On board with the Baz. And it's Barry Twins that's leading this race. Big Dan in second. Koi Carp in third. That's your top three. With Jokers in fourth. Homesick Alien in fifth. Jokers off wide. And Digital Blasphemy. Sixth place. Not having as jolly a time as he did in the feature race. Can't quite tag those guys ahead of him, get up there on their pace. Skyjacker has done Pat, he's ahead, and now Skyjacker 7th. It's a huge gap though to catch up with Digital Blasphemy ahead. And yeah, huge gap between the bottom three now, with Thingamajig well and truly out of it, doing 17 sixes and 16 nines. Pat doing 17 fours, 17 ones. Skyjacker doing 16 fives. Tyres looking okay. Fuel halfway. We're 12 and a half minutes into the race. And it's Koi Carp that leads. Koi Carp that leads? That shouldn't be. Big Dan and Baz were leading. Hang on. So here we go. Bazza and Big Dan for the lead, side by side. And there's Big Dan just edging it ahead. They come into the chicane, everything seems okay. Big Dan gets a little wobble on. Bazza misses the chicane altogether, and they are then swamped. And it's Big Dan, oh, I don't know what that was, lag or a knock, but it's Big Dan on the Baz. And yeah, that's how Koi Carp takes the lead. And Jokers is right in the shout of things as well, as is Homesick. Did not Homesick win the first race? And Homesick looking for a double win like Skyjacker got last week. And Jokers clinging on. It feels like Jokers is clinging on there. His car sliding around all over the place. Still plenty of racing and a pit stop to go. Well, unless they can no stop it, which it looks like none of them can. Their fuels are all below halfway. So I don't think anyone's going up all the way in this one. I think they're all going to have to pit for at least a little splash and dash. Koi Carp leads then from Jokers, who's doing everything he can to keep Homesick Alien behind. And we know how fruitless of a job that can be, as Homesick Alien is just an absolute driving legend. And there he is up the long side, Jokers already, and Homesick Alien squeezing every last tenth out of his car, is managing to get through and ahead. Beautiful driving from Jokers and Homesick Alien. What a great race them two just had. And there we see Big Dan used to lead this race. Bazza as well used to lead this race, down in 4th and 5th. Digital Blasphemy isn't that far behind them, you know. Digital Blasphemy might be one to watch come the end of the race. Skyjacker in 7th, with Pat closing back in on Skyjacker. Skyjacker doesn't look like he's made a mess of a lap, but definitely Pat closing in, and Thingamajig is way out of this one. It's on a 19.2. It was his first race, first ever chance in the VR competitive race, so maybe we can forgive him a little bit. Not a lot. Maybe next time he'll be better. So, Coy under pressure from Homesick Alien. We saw him just getting past Jokers and he's through. There was a little bit of a panel batter, but nothing in it. I think Rubbin's racing. I mean, it's not for me to decide anyway. But Homesick Alien up and through. But no, he's lifting. It's 3 wide. 3 wide, and Homesick Alien lifted. Ooh, who's that? Jokers is through. I think Coy turned in on the Alien as he was trying yeah, I think he didn't realise the Alien. Oh, and he got reset. That's terrible for Koi Carp. What an awful shame for Coy, being reset back to track. And he had and Digi's had an off as well. It's all going off here. Skyjacker could get something out of this race after all. It wasn't looking too good at the beginning of it, and now look at him. He's fighting Digi for 6th place. Koi Carp not too far up the road in 5th, and now we've got Jokus leading this race ahead of Big Dan, but Homesick Alien is still there in the shout, and he looks like he wants to get a move done on Big Dan already as they go down to turn 1. They're side by side. It's going to be tense when they get into the braking zone. Homesick Alien just slightly ahead of Big Dan. Big Dan trying to swap it over and go back underneath the Alien, but he cannot do it. And Bazza's there as well. Bazza, I think the only one who stayed on the track out of the 3 of them. And Bazza then tries to get one done on Big Dan, and Bazza does. And it's Barry Twins now who is in 3rd, and Homesick Alien in 2nd, and Joker's out there in the lead, building a gap. We're 16 minutes in, and like I said, I think pit stops aren't going to happen until the last 10 minutes of the race because of tyre wear. So Homesick Alien then in 2nd, keeping Barry Twins and Big Dan at bay. Koi Carp in 5th with Skyjacker in 6th, trying to catch him up. Sorry. And Pat in 7th with Digital Blasphemy now in 8th, and Thingamajig in 9th, but Thingamajig is way out of it. Bang out of the game. Jokus then leading this race, and now we're seeing them peeling off into the pits. Homesick Alien pulled the trigger first. Big Dan following him in. It doesn't like you going onto them when they're in the pits. There you go. Coy's in the pits. Big Dan's in the pits. Homesick Alien's in the pits. Skyjack has also made that same decision. Pat's carried on. Pat's carried on. Digital Blasphemy carrying on also. And everybody else is in the pits. Thingamajig, what's he going to do? It looks like he's decided to make the pit stop as well. Pretty pointless in his position, really, isn't it? And the soft tyres goes on for Homesick Alien, Big Dan, Koi Carp, all changing over to the soft tyre. Now, will they have a huge advantage doing that earlier pit stop? They're out there on the softs now. They should be going at least a second faster, possibly, than the runners out there. They've all topped up. Homesick Alien's put a nice whack of fuel in there. Big Dan, just over 3/4. Koi Carp just under 3/4. Koi Carp playing risk with his fuel tank. Skyjacker just over 3/4. Thingamajig comes out. He's filled his tank up again. What a douche. What a din. So Joker's then leads this race, but his fuel tank is flashing. Barry Twins goes into the pits. Pat and Digital Blasphemy staying out. Digital Blasphemy's fuel is flashing, but Pat's is not. Pat's done a great one on fuel consumption there, and Joker's then goes around and in the lead. This is beautiful. Bazza coming up to his pit box. as Pat in second place, being chased by Digital Blasphemy. Still yet to make a pit stop. There's Homesick Alien up into fourth. And Barry Twins coming out on track. Just behind Big Dan. Not bad for Big Barry. Not losing much time there at all. Staying out that 1 lap longer. He's got a lap's worth of fresher tyres than Homesick Alien, and Big Dan ahead of him. Super move. Koi Carp then down in 7th, still ahead of Skyjacker, and it's a hefty gap. There's no worries there. And then further back is Thingamajig, who just really doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe he'll get better. I've heard a rumour he's gone from a D rating to a C rating, so you never know. Jokers into the pits, the leader into the pits. I think these are all going to have to come in. Pat and Digi already pitted. Digi's dropped right down. Has he having to fuel save? Is he having to do major lifts to try and get it back to the pits? Because he was right with Pat. Oh, it's not too bad. And Pat then, he's skirting around. He's staying out. No, he isn't. He's going in. He's going in. Homesick Alien continues on into second place. Can Homesick Alien grab first? Can he? He has. Where's Jokers? Where's Jokers? He's only just leaving the pit lane. He's only just leaving pit lane road. Oh, it's tight, but Homesick Alien stays ahead of Jokers, and Big Dan not quite getting Jokers. And my God, and Jokers, don't forget, will have 2 laps. Newer tyres than Big Dan and Homesick Alien, but Big Dan trying to get the move done on Jokers. Jokers absolutely elbows out and says to Big Dan, no way, my friend. This is a possible podium / maybe win. Bazza in 4th place. This has been an absolutely gripping race with Koi Carp in 5th, Skyjacker in 6th, Pat 7th, Digital Blasphemy out of the pits, as is Pat, and they seem to lost a bit there on Skyjacker, I think. Quite a bit. And Thingamajig, a 16.4. Shame he wasn't doing those times when there were hard tyres. So Homesick Alien, a 14.5. Wow, that's a difference, isn't it? Just under 2 seconds. So Homesick Alien leads the race from Big Dan, and then Jokers in 3rd. So Big Dan did get Jokers, and Jokers now under threat from the Baz. The Baz all up in his busyness, and Jokers does not want to relinquish that podium. We are 9 minutes, less than 9 minutes away from checkered flag. Oh, Joker's got a wiggle on. Jokers and Bazza both pirouetting in the walled area. No, it was Koi. No, Koi's gone through, up into 3rd. Great stuff. Skyjacker also getting something out of it. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but Bazza, I think Joker spun out in front of Baz, and Baz, I don't know if he got knocked by the spin or just spun in sympathy, but Bazza and Jokers both spinning out on lap 17 of this and Barry Twins and Jokers. That was a definite podium for one of them. Jokers then does lose the position to Skyjacker, and Skyjacker now up into 4th, and he's 2nd in the championship, don't forget. I can't remember where he finished in that first race, because I don't have a memory that obviously scales more than 22 minutes. But yeah, Skyjacker 4th in this race. Talaran is scoring 0 points from this race. Possibly he might score final positions. He might be classified. But Skyjacker scoring better than Talaran, who's behind him in the championship. And looking rosy for Skyjacker. I don't think he's going to get Koi though. I think Koi is too much of an ask, although it's not too bad. A 14.9 last time around from Skyjacker, a 15.3 from Koi, but he's going faster again in the Red Bull Nissan, being chased by the Pink Monster. It's looking not too bad for Koi. He's keeping it lovely and in nice and tight to the racing lines. And Skyjacker then absolutely pushing on, trying to catch up with Koi Carp and get a podium out of this round. Big Dan looking wobbly into the final corner. And he's chasing down the Alien, but the Alien just absolutely disappearing. Trouncing it with the mid-14s. And no one can touch him. No one can get close. Big Dan's only in the 15s. And Homesick Alien is Tara, TTFN, Buyos. Koikart then, that podium position within his grasp. And didn't he have a podium position, I think, in the first round? I can tell you, because I've got the table in front of me. Yes, he got a podium in the feature race of round 1. So, Koi, good points for him against Digital Blasphemy, who's finishing down in 8th. And Pat, who he's also racing, who's down in 7th. So, Koikart, this is a healthy for him in the championship battle. And Skyjacker, 14.4 for Skyjacker last time around. Koikart, a 15.0. That's 0.6 faster from Skyjacker. There could still be a twist in the tail for the podium, as Big Dan can't live with the speed of the Alien and the Homesick Alien. But someone's on fresher tyres, aren't they? And I can't remember who it is. Jokers then, and the woes, him and Bazza, still going at it. Down in 5th and 6th place. And oh, what a shame for these two contenders. They were there in a podium shout, the pair of them. And it's just unfortunate how it's gone for them in this race. But they're still racing each other, still loving it. On board with the Baz as he chases down the yellow monster Nissan. It's a glorious battle. Homesick Alien leads from Big Dan with Koikart in 3rd. Koikart a little bit slower than Skyjacker at this point. And Skyjacker in 4th, doing all he can in the last 5 minutes to try and catch up Koikart. Take that podium away as Bazza wants this position away from Jokus. And Bazza and Jokus are next to each other in the championship. Bazza in 8th, Jokus in 9th. And there's 6 points difference between the two of them. And both of them have dropped around. So interesting stuff from Baz and Jokus. And Jokus makes a complete hash of that corner. And the Baz fancies the move up the inside. He goes for it and he gets it. He sent it. Go on, my son. So the Baz now up into 5th position, ahead of Jokus in 6th. Can Jokus come back in turn 1? And Bazza, no, he's got it all stitched up, tied up in a beautiful little knot bow. Pat then in 7th, still under pressure from Digital Blasphemy. Digital Blasphemy's just found his fastest lap of the race with a 14.4, and Pat doing a 15.9 the lap before. So Pat could be in trouble now with Digital Blasphemy finding his pace. Then Thingamajig, 15.7 from Thingamajig. But he is away. He's lost all the time before we're here. So Homesick Alien, 14.0 for Homesick Alien as the fuel wears off. And, well, the sun doesn't look like it's coming out, so the track's not getting any warmer. And again, 13.9. Homesick Alien unstoppable with Big Dan managing a 14.7. That's his best of the day. And Koikart 15.2, Skyjacker 15.1. So the pace dropping off now for Koi, but luckily for him, Skyjacker as well is losing pace as those tyres go away from him. The Baz still ahead of Jokus, but he's lost the car in a huge way, and that surely is going to put Jokus back up and into 5th place. What a cracking little race between Jokus and the Baz. Is anyone seeing this? No one said hello in the chat. I feel lonely. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and all the other stuff that YouTube get horny about. So we're having a glorious fight between the Baz and Jokus. And Digital Blasphemy has caught up. Oh, that might have only just happened. Let's no. Sorry. There we go. It's quite a bit back. And it's right in the middle of the move. So here we go. Digital Blasphemy right on the tail end of Pat. And Pat just trying to go both a little wide there. And Digital Blasphemy up. Going for the outside, is he? Of Pat, and he gets it to work. Beautiful move from Digital Blasphemy. Round the outside of Pat. And that's Digital Blasphemy up and into 7th place. And Pat trying to come back at Digital Blasphemy. But it may be Digital Blasphemy is just on fire in the latter half of this race. Did a 14.7 last time around, with Pat doing a 15.9. And that sort of pace you can't ignore. But Pat is staying with him. And there may be more to tell in this story yet. Thingamajig, way out of it. Just did a 21, sucker. So Homesick Alien, a 13.9 last time around, leading this race from Big Dan. The closest battle really is the Digi one. Well, Jokus and Baz, but there's a distance between the two of them now. Digi and Pat. Oh, looks like Pat is coming back at Digi. But Digi got it under control. But the fuel is flashing. Oh yeah, we're at 28.5 minutes. Only a minute and a half left of racing. Wow, that crept up quick. Ooh. But Digital Blasphemy's fuel is flashing. And Pat's still got half a tank. So's Thingamajig. Oh, look, Thingamajig's had another off. Is he just playing around now? Testing. So there we go. Homesick Alien. Super lead. Super speed. With Big Dan in second place. I got caught out last time by the clock. I just don't want to be caught out again. Koi Carp there in third. His fuel's flashing, but I think we said he was playing Very Dare. Very Dare? We were playing Dare with his fuel tank at the last pit stop. Skyjacker definitely closing in. Definitely more fuel. 15.2 from Skyjacker last time around. Koi Carp 15.2 also. Can't sniff at that. Can't fault that. So 29.5 minutes. Joker's in 5th, ahead of Bazza in 6th. Digital Blasphemy just staying ahead of Pat, but he'll be having a clenchy bomb moment with that fuel, and Thingamajig way out of it. So Homesick Alien, he's gone across to start lap 24. Big Dan crosses the line with 15 seconds to go. Koi Carp crosses the line, and Skyjacker also crossing the line with 10 seconds to go. Jokus, can he see the line? Oh, he's letting Bazza through. So Joker's slowing down. I don't think Joker's wants to do another lap. Bazza's gone through. Joker's is waiting for the clock, is he? No, he's had to start the final lap. That was all very weird. And Bazza is... no, Bazza's going. Continue on. It's Digital Blasphemy finishing in 7th with Pat in 8th. And Thingamajig is miles away. He's let Homesick Alien through. And there we see Homesick Alien then coming around the... No, not the final corner. Sorry, I'm miles away. Koi, he looks like he's keeping hold of that distance between himself and Skyjacker, and Jokus and Bazza, no difference there. So it's Homesick Alien then coming up to the final corner to take the double win. And that is going to put him even further out of touch in the championship. Great drive from the Alien. 2 cracking wins. Superb. Big Dan with a podium. Great drive for second place. That's going to help his championship. And Koi Carp, oh no, they're not there yet. Now he's there. Big Dan second. Koi Carp, take a boo, my son. His second podium already in this championship, with Skyjacker in 4th. The Baz is ahead of Jokers, but he's had a massive scrape with the barrier. And Jokers is right there, but they're on the line now, and it's Bazza who goes across. And Jokers finishing in 6th. Wow, what a race. What an absolute humdinger of a race, with Homesick Alien collecting 2 golds out of round 3 at Watkins Glen. He deserves all the plaudits and the fastest laps. I guess he got both of them, didn't he? So a great drive from the Alien. Big Dan, super drive for second spot. A great podium, and Big Dan is 4th in the championship, 2 points behind Talaran. Now, Talaran did a good finish in the feature, But is it enough to stay ahead of Ensign Newitt in the championship? I mean, saying that, I mean, Ensign Newitt's only 3 points behind Skyjacker. And Skyjacker, not a great first race, and only fourth in the second, only fourth. I'd dream of fourth. So Big Dan in second, Koi Carp rounding out your podium, and that's going to be healthy for him. Another podium in his championship bid, with Skyjacker in fourth, the Baz Nater in fifth, Jokers comes home in sixth, with Digital Blasphemy grabbing seventh, Pat in eighth, and Thingamajig coming home in ninth, and Talleyrand unable to see the checkered flag. So that was round 3 of the Stock Car Championship from Watkins Glen. Great stuff. And the next one we'll see from them will be BB Raceway, the baked bean, or whatever they call it, the broad bean of the ovals. And we'll be looking forwards to that race indeed. Later on this evening, if you're watching live, but I don't think anyone is. But later on today, or the next stream that will be up, will be the WRX Challenge. And I believe it's round 9. And that, I tell ye, it's tight. And guess what? We're at Trial Mountain. For anyone who says, don't do many of the new tracks, do you? So we've just come off the back of Watkins Glen, going on to Trial Mountain. Suck that, those naysayers that say that we don't use the new tracks. Because if you ask me, that's using the new tracks. Right, I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Dan Glebors. It's been a lovely speaking to you. Thanks for joining us. You weren't very chatty today. Not anyone chatted in the live chat. And I wanted to see if the new talkie thing worked. But don't worry. Don't worry. We'll try it out tonight. We'll do it live. We'll do it live, I tell you. So I was Dan Glebors. I appreciate you all. I've told you what's coming. Challenge. WRX Challenge tonight at Trial Mountain, and then the next stream after that will be the Stock Car Championship. Got nothing going. GT3 Wes has got sign-ups if anyone's interested in signing up for it, and that'll be racing. I don't think it's this Tuesday, but the Tuesday following, and then we'll be back up to 3 races in the week. I don't believe there's anything else to tell you. Check out our website, www.virtualracersclub.co.uk. And don't forget to look after the planet, fill your car with seal oil. We provide the club, you find the seal. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. Peace and love. Peace and love. Once upon a time, I was falling in love, but now I'm only falling apart. There's nothing I can do, a total eclipse of the art. Bonnie Tyler. Heavy, heavy stuff.